Earstravagant Adventures. I'm your host and travel agent bestie, Rachel, and joining me is Katie, everyone's
Hi.
travel chaos coordinator. I like that self-branded title. And
Yep.
today we're talking all about the beautiful and beloved Disney fantasy, another of Disney Cruise Line ships. While she was once known for her 7-night Caribbean sailings, the fantasy is mixing things up these days. But don't worry, she's still got all the elegance, entertainment, and magic we know and love, from stunning rotational dining to Broadway style shows to the aqueduct. There's so much to love on board. Whether you're a Disney Cruise Line first timer or planning your next sailing, this episode is your deep dive into everything the fantasy has to offer. But before we jump in, thank you to our sponsor, Alonzi Travel, the ultimate family theme park experts. Planning theme park and cruise trips can be overwhelming, but Alonzi Travel is here to make it stress-free. With our years of experience, we're your lightning lane. I don't have a cruise, funny thing to put in there. To
Nah.
hassle-free travel, we handle all the details, allowing you to focus on having fun with your loved ones. Whether you dream of Hogwarts or a Disney cruise, we've got it covered, tailoring the trip to your family's needs. Visit alonzi-travel.com/ take the trip for a magical adventure.
Hey.
Yay!
All right. Before we start, I'm going to plug two things.
Plug away.
Okay. The blog, the Lonzy Travel blog, which you can find on the Lonzy Travel website. We have a really good article about how to choose whether a Walt Disney World vacation is best for your family or a Disney cruise vacation. I wrote
Yes,
it myself. It's great. It even has a chart. We all love a chart.
we love a chart.
And this is our last in this series, unless we do one on the adventure. And we have now covered every single Disney cruise ship. So if you want to watch those, they are all on YouTube and Spotify. So,
Yay! Or wherever you get your podcasts, because I think we're also on like Apple Podcasts. I don't know.
oh, are we?
We're lots of places, but
We're everywhere.
yeah, I'm excited to talk about the fantasy. The adventure. I have mixed feelings about the adventure because it's not like technically a
Yeah.
Disney cruise ship, but
Yeah.
the fantasy. Let's give you a high overview. So first of all, it's the sister ship to my favorite ship, the Disney Dream. It was launched in 2012, which just like seems so long ago. It
But it's
is
not.
an Art Nouveau style, which is different than Art Deco. So, for those of you who are into that, Art Nouveau is, you'll see a lot of this in like France. It's very
Mhm.
soft lines, feminine, light, airy colors. The Dream is Art Deco, and Art Deco is very structural, architectural, diagonals. It was very big in Miami. Um,
Yeah.
and bold colors there. So very different styles, but still lovely. Slightly different offerings, but basically an identical layout, which makes it really nice to navigate these different ships. It's also not, it's bigger than the Dream, but it's still small. Is it smaller than it's smaller than the Wish, isn't it? Smaller than the Wish?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because these are our mid-sized ships. Dream
Yeah.
and Fantasy are right in the middle
But
of
they're
ship size.
still much smaller than Royal Caribbean ships, which
Mhm.
I love.
I do too.
Yes. So this, sorry, I was skipping all over the place. I was going to talk about the statue. So Mickey Mouse is the captain of this ship. Minnie Mouse is the statue, and it's a super cute Minnie Mouse little statue. So prior to the launch of the Disney Treasure, this was doing 7-night Bahamian and Caribbean sailings, which is why I never went on the Fantasy.
Mm.
But now, because the treasure is here, it's currently in Europe, but it will be back at Port Canaveral for Bahamian sailings this fall. And that's what I did in January because it had a 5-night option. Katie loves this. Katie loves the 7 nights in the
I
Caribbean.
do.
I hate
I
them.
do.
That's why I never went on the fantasy. But now that it has 5 nights, it's right up my alley. So I'm fresh off from January, the fantasy, and it has a dry dock this fall.
I wouldn't hate it if the Fantasy and the Treasure were doing 7 nights. I wouldn't hate it. I,
I
I think I think my clients would like it as well.
I can't. I need to put this down. I have, it's for our listeners. I have a not a
Look,
pirate band in my hand.
we're not talking about Universal right now. We can, if
Sorry.
y'all want us to. We can talk more about Universal,
It's
but
the ADHD. Like my hands just like have to be doing something. I'm sorry.
I have a hairpin.
Okay.
We have to have a fidget.
Like it's yeah. Anyways, so yeah, now that it's doing shorter sailings and even in Europe, like I'm so jealous of it being in Europe. This is
Hmm.
this is great because I will have my, Disney Cruise Line bingo card. Now I just need to get on the Treasure and soon the Destiny, but I got my classic Disney Cruise bingo card done. Why don't you tell us about the available staterooms?
All right. So staterooms available. We have inside staterooms that are going to have the super cute virtual portholes.
So cute.
Um, my daughter was mad that we didn't book a virtual porthole because she just wanted to see the cartoon characters. And I was like, no, mama has to have a veranda.
Yeah.
You have your ocean view staterooms, and all of these staterooms are typically going to sleep 4 to 5.
Hmm.
So you're going to have your it's it's not a king, but it's bigger than a queen in my opinion. The standard bed for the you think queen?
It's a queen.
It feels bigger to me.
But I think it feels bigger because it's plush and like
Yeah,
we talk about this every cruise podcast, but like if you haven't listened to the other ones, you haven't heard us say this before. The Disney cruise beds are so comfortable.
they're so good.
And
They're
I'm
so comfy.
picky. I'm so picky.
Same. So you're going to have your ocean view stateroom. So these are going to actually have portholes where you can see out and you can see the actual water. Your veranda staterooms that are going to come with a veranda that you can sit out on your balcony. I won't cruise without a veranda. I have to
I'm
have a veranda.
I'm
I've got to, like, that's what I came here for. I came here for the view. I came here for the water. I came here for the sounds of the ocean. You've got concierge level staterooms. There's a couple of different types there. We don't know this for sure, but we do feel like the dry dock that Fantasy is going into this fall is going to upgrade the concierge lounge and the concierge rooms because that's what they did for Dream when Dream had dry dock last year.
and it's cute
Um,
now on the Dream. It's Hercules.
it is cute.
Hmm.
And then you've got wait, that's it.
Yeah,
Concierge.
yeah. So the concierge rooms, there's going to be standard family, ocean view,
Mhm.
veranda. There's one
1 bedroom
bedrooms,
suites.
and then there's the Roy Disney, one of the suites that like, if you want to book one of those really, really big suites, call me.
Yeah, let's
Call me.
talk about it. We'll do
Yeah.
it.
So I want to two things talk about the concierge lounge. And we kind of, speculation, we
Mhm.
think it's going to be upgraded. That's not to say that the concierge lounge isn't nice now. Look, I do love a concierge lounge. The reason I love concierge though with Disney Cruise Line is because these guys are more of your traditional concierge thing.
Mhm.
So like if you go to the concierge desk and you ask them for help with something, they'll do whatever they can to make it happen for you. Case in point, if you weren't able to get champagne tasting, they can look and see if they can make two places magically appear for you. Sometimes they
Yes.
can, sometimes they can't. If you weren't able to get a reservation at Paolo, there's Paolo on board.
And also,
They
when
can
you sell concierge, you get first dibs at all of this.
You
So,
do, you do,
yeah,
you do. Yes. They also have a lounge, so there's a complimentary happy hour, specific hours every day. They'll also have snacks throughout the day. I don't know if anybody talks about this ever, but you can also get popcorn for the movies. It's
mhm.
bagged popcorn, and I thought it was going to be
Nice.
nasty bagged popcorn, but it was really good. So there's a lot of perks, and the rooms are a little bit nicer. So like the amenities in
Mhm.
the rooms are elevated, the beds are elevated, the color scheme is different. Um, so just some slight differences there, but if it's in your budget to splurge a little bit,
Yeah,
splurge a
it's
little bit,
worth it. It's well
splurge
worth
a
it.
little bit. Yes.
And talking about the true concierge service. So, yeah, next week I will be going to an all inclusive and we are staying concierge. We're staying preferred at the resort. I've already read a ton of reviews. that it's not a true club level. It's not a, like I can get some things, but I can't, So there are places that will advertise club level that it's not exactly club level.
Well, and I mean, I kind of compare it to like Walt Disney World. Like, I don't feel like Walt Disney World is a true concierge because
Yeah.
there is somebody there that can help you. But if Cinderella's Royal Table doesn't have availability, there's nothing they can do
Yeah,
about
they
that.
have the same access that we do as travel agents.
Right.
They don't have any extra strings that they can pull that we cannot pull.
Right.
Hmm.
And in my opinion, regular, I'm using air quotes for our listeners, regular concierges do have strings that they can pull. Like if you have a concierge in Europe and you're like, I want to get can you help me get a table here? Good concierges that have connections will be like, yeah, let me call my guy and get you a
Got you.
table.
Yeah.
But Disney concierge isn't like that. So that's why I say it's more of like a true concierge, and they have special merchandise. And anyways, I miss being concierge.
It sounds like you need to book a concierge role.
I so bad. Like I'm waiting. So let's pause and speculation. If the fantasy or the dream comes to Galveston, and if they come on a year-round basis,
Hmm.
and if I can get a travel agent rate, I will be there and I will ask to upgrade to concierge because
And
that's a good.
I asked, speaking of what she's talking about, is asking in port as you're about to get on the ship, are there any concierge rooms available? You can do that. I tried to do it for the Dream in January, and it was a little too pricey for my budget because sometimes they have a deal, like right there
Yeah.
at the end. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on how booked up they are because they have that staff anyway. So they want, to
Yeah, like they're going to be on the ship. The
right.
room's there, the staff is there.
Yeah. So the speculation of if it's coming. So there was a cruise port official that said that Disney is coming to Galveston year round in 2027.
Mhm.
That person either broke an NDA, is going to have a big lawsuit against them, or they are speculating as well, because it is a
Yeah.
known fact that Disney is investing in the Galveston port. It is a known fact that Disney has signed contracts to be in Galveston. That's
Mhm.
true. We don't have the schedule for 2027 yet. That might also be why we have a delayed schedule for 2027. But there has been no official announcements for Disney about this. Disney for years has been a seasonal port, basically November through basically April, for years. So if they become year round, Katie and I are going to be psyched out of our minds
We
about
we
it.
gonna be we're gonna be going.
We're going to be
We're gonna be going.
going, and
Like if
magic.
you try to call me and you can't find me, I probably
I'm
have
good.
driven the 4 hours to Galveston and gotten on a
Well,
Disney
and
cruise.
like if it's the dream or the fantasy, I feel like that would be such a good one to do out of Galveston because
Mhm.
I would stay on the boat. Like Cozumel's fine. Progresso is fine.
Yeah.
Roatan, if it went that far, is fine.
Yeah.
But in our opinions, the Disney cruise ship is a destination. So like if I'm going out of Galveston,
Yes.
that's in my backyard. I didn't have to fly. So I
Hmm.
will be on the concierge deck in the adult only area, sipping a Caipirinha, which is the wrong way to say that, but that's my drink of choice on a cruise. It's like a mojito, but better. Anyways.
I've never had one. I'm gonna have to try that. 'Cause we love mojitos over here.
Yeah, it's the Brazilian version. It's very good. It's yes. Anyways,
Okay.
super big tangent because that's what me and Katie do on this
Well,
pod.
we're so excited about this, and it's not just us. Like everybody is hyped about this because it just gives accessibility to so many more people if we have a full-time year-round ship from Galveston.
And truly, like I very much enjoy the dream and the fantasy. I out
Same.
of all the current ships, truly, the dream and the fantasy are two of my favorites. Um, and I have a couple caveats which we'll get into, but overall, like I really enjoy these. So the dining here, it's pretty typical for what we've talked about with the other, was it Magic class ships?
Mhm.
So rotational dining, it's going to be Animator's Palette, which is Asian inspired, Royal Court, which is French inspired, Enchanted Garden, which is
It just said
food,
world cuisine, everything.
food.
Throw it all in there.
Your typical cabanas, which is the buffet, And then the quick service of pizza, grill, sandwiches, room service, that's typical. That's what we're finding on all the ships.
I did not realize until I was doing the show notes that the like the one that's on the Dream that makes like the tacos and the burrito bowls is not on the Fantasy. And that made me sad.
Yeah, this quick service area was smaller, but it
It's
has
smaller.
the self-serve ice cream, which is really all lots of people care about,
Yeah.
honestly. There's also
Room service cookies and self-serve ice cream. You make you a little sandwich,
a little ice cream sandwich.
much as you want. It's
And
free.
they do have Remy and Paolo. Remy is my favorite. This Remy is a little bit smaller than the one on the Dream,
Hmm.
actually, which was kind of surprising to me. But so Remy and Paolo are both there, and then the Sweet on You dessert shop. These, when we say optional, that means extra mentees.
Well worth it though, especially when we talk about, and you've heard us say it before, the price value for Palo Brunch.
Yeah, why don't you talk
It's
about it again?
incredible.
Because
Yeah.
maybe people don't didn't hear the other episode, so
So
let's
Palo Brunch is a what, 5 course brunch? Is it five? Trying to remember now.
When I went, it was different. It was
Yeah,
pre-COVID,
you
and we
still had
had
the buffet. The
yeah,
the, the buffet went away with the panini. But I do believe it's like a 5 course brunch. More food than you can eat in one sitting for sure. And it's
literally.
$50 a person. $50 a person. And it was fabulous. So if Remy's is a little bit too pricey for you, or if you feel a little bit guilty because you're not bringing your children, you can do Palo Brunch and it's perfect,
Because Remy's is, I think, $135 now,
which
and
is still not bad.
it's two Michelin stars. So how it is it's two Michelin star chefs, and there's two menus. One is an American menu and one is a French menu. And you choose either or. You can also do an a la carte option, but don't mess around with the a la carte. Just get the
Yeah.
menu.
No.
It's
Mm-mm.
on paper, it's a 5 course, but you also get an amuse bouche. You get three different desserts. You get a palate cleanser. So there's like a lot more in there. But $135 for a Michelin's rated chefs is a
Mm.
steal.
I was trying to go back and find my Palo menu from January, but I went back too far and I was in July of last year.
I know I'm so mad at myself for not taking a picture of the Remy menu because
Hmm.
I didn't think that it changed, but then when I looked at my pictures from when I had Remy before and when I had Remy now, like the food was different. So I'm mad at myself. But
I'm almost there.
while you're
Maybe.
looking for that, there's
I
also,
took a lot of pictures.
and you didn't list it here, but there's also the Cove, which I'm shocked Katie didn't list it here because it's like literally where
I
she lives.
know. That's my favorite thing on any Disney cruise is the salted coconut caramel latte. I dream about them.
Why
I
don't you
wake up in
tell
the
us
morning.
what the Cove is?
So it is it's in the adult only area and it is a bar slash coffee. Well, it's a lounge slash coffee shop. Um, the specialty coffees do cost extra, but it's worth it. They are amazing and they do the coffee art where you can have a different Disney character on your latte every single morning. Um, I would get 2 a day because I love them so much.
So you didn't put in our outline the adult spaces.
I did not. The outline's not great, but I figured at this point, it's okay.
Okay, well, so that's the dining, but that kind of leads into, in my opinion, the adult spaces because the adult spaces have some of the bars. So it's
Hmm.
called, and this is where my caveat is because on the classic Disney ships, the adult district is in a separate part of the ship and
Yes.
all together in one space, which I really like.
Hmm.
What I don't like about the fantasy is it's weird looking. You walk into it and it's like you're
Weird.
walking into like sand caves.
Sand
Are you
games?
still looking for the menu?
Yeah, I found it.
Okay.
One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's like 6 if you get the soup.
Okay, so Palo is 6. Okay. So,
Okay.
yeah, you walk into the adult district and it's bizarre. Somebody said it was supposed to be like based on Venice, but I've been to Venice and it does not look like that. It was like weird
That's so
shape
weird.
sand. Well, I did not like it. I did not like it at all. But so anyway, it's called Europa. It's got the Ooh La La is the champagne bar.
Ooh.
It's really
Okay, is
pretty.
it as good as the champagne bar on the Dream? I know you're partial to
Yeah,
pink.
I didn't go back for the cocktails. I went for a champagne tasting, but we were doing other things, so I didn't have a chance.
Mm.
But the champagne tasting I had was wonderful, so yes, I still like it. The main bar where you walk in, that's kind of like an open air that leads to the other areas, is called La Piazza, and it looks like this is where like I feel like they're trying to be Venice, but they're not. Like there's
So
um
weird.
Venetian mask and like it's weird. It's weird.
It's weird.
I don't love it. I don't, I don't love it.
Does that play into the Art Nouveau? Like, I mean,
No, no, no. That's why when I
weird.
walked back there, I'm like, this is bizarre. And like we were on because it's on the aft, and we were aft on deck
Mm.
five, so we would walk through that frequently. And every time I walked through there, I was just like, I don't understand this. Every time.
Now,
So there's
with
that.
the adult district, I would like to point out that I have had several people who do the Wish as their first ship because they're like, oh, the Wish, we're going to do the Wish, because it's got those shorter sailings to like ease into cruising.
Mhm.
And then they'll do the Dream or the Fantasy, and they like the adult section so much more on the Dream and the Fantasy. Even the Magic and the Wonder, have it sectioned off properly.
Yeah, that's my complaint about the Wish is it's
Yeah.
not separate. So what else is down there is Ooh, which is champagne bar. O'Gill's is the sports
Sports
bar.
bar.
Yep. And then they've got the craft cocktails at Skyline. I think Skyline is also, I think these are all kind of,
Skyline's on the Dream.
yeah, O'Gill's is also on the Dream. So those are the same. And then the Tube is the big nightclub.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I just like the spaces are fine, but
Mhm.
is
The entryway
I don't
is
like
weird.
it. And like the bathrooms, I don't know, just the whole when y'all get on the fantasy, when we get you on the fantasy, you'll walk in there and you'll be like, "Oh, I see what she's talking about."
Yeah. So
It's
weird.
it's it's weird, y'all. And the other adult space that we would be remiss to not mention is Senses Spa and Salon.
Oh,
Because
I love the spa so much.
this one, they all have the rainforest room, which everybody
Yes.
raves about the rainforest room, but this one has one of the great couples massage areas. I have complained
Mm-hmm.
about the couple massage area on the Wish because I think it's ugly and horrible. These are the ones that like actually open up to the ocean, which I prefer.
Mm-hmm. It's
Beautiful.
nice.
But this is again an adults only space. There's also the fitness center. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
I need the spa. My back hurts. I need the spa like today.
I'm probably gonna get a massage when we're at Dreams next week. Like it's on the list of, because I gotta check out the spa,
Yeah,
I
why
gotta
why
see
wouldn't
it.
you? Obviously, you
Yeah,
have to go do that.
gotta do
Obviously.
that. Like, duh. So we talked about the adults only area, but we also have the kids area. So this is where you can drop your kids off and pretend that they're not on the trip with you. All right.
Or
So
the kids can
start
pretend they're not with you.
exactly. So we do have the nursery, which is going to be for your kids that are 3 and under. So with the nursery, you have to schedule your time in advance, and it is not included. So that is an additional cost. The Oceaneers Club and the Oceaneers Lab, which is from 3 to age 11, that is included in your cruise fare. You do have to pre-register for them, and then you pay attention to the times on the app, which will tell you whether you can drop off at Oceaneers Club or Oceaneers Lab because they do have separate operating hours. Lab is a little bit more interactive, a little bit more hands-on with like science experiments, art stuff, whereas Club is kind of a free play area and it's going to have a Marvel area, a Star Wars area, and I think there's some Toy Story themes as
Mhm.
well for this one. They are amazing. Like below your mind amazing in the Oceaneers
Yeah,
area.
I just toured another Royal Caribbean ship recently and we went in their
Mm-hmm.
kids club.
Mm. Mm.
And I think what makes their kids clubs great probably is the counselors because the spaces were just
Mhm.
mwah,
Well,
mwah.
they also underutilize some of their spaces because, like on the bigger ships, they have like a whole science lab in the Royal Caribbean ones. And we did a 7 night Royal Caribbean cruise, and I think that science lab was open one time.
Mm.
And, like your kids see this and they see that every time they walk in, and they're like, when are we going to get to do that? And I'm like, I don't know,
Yeah,
like,
I think like Disney just has so much IP that they can make their spaces just interesting in general. Like
mhm.
as an adult, you walk in and you tour these spaces when you're allowed to during open house, and you walk in and you're like, this is a cool space. Like if I was a kid, I would want to just come and hang out here.
And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's the same on the fantasy, but on the dream you can fly the Millennium Falcon. Like there's an area where you can, is it the same? I haven't been on the fantasy caveat.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I
I
would
did
imagine
too.
they're pretty identical.
And even the edge and vibe, like vibe especially, like it's more mature. So like
Mhm.
there's not really anything Disney in there. It's just a cool hangout. Like it
Mhm.
gives me loft vibes, but I'm also a
Yes.
millennial and like I immediately know what I mean when I say loft vibes, but you guys may not. Like it just seems like a cool space to hang out. Like maybe a better version for kids now is like a coffee shop.
Yeah, it gives me coffee shop vibes. That's how I feel. And not the coffee shops. So we're gonna date ourselves, but do you remember the coffee shops of the 2000s? Right? That is the vibes that I get from both Edge and Vibe. Not the coffee shops of today, which are super cutesy with pinks and florals
Oh
everywhere. Like
yeah,
that.
no, no. Yeah, like homey, like earth
Yeah,
colors,
homey,
earth
like
tones.
leather couches with
Yeah.
throw pillows, board games
Yeah.
out, video games out, some neon signs, like, but not overly.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
but
you
Edge
you
is
walk
for,
in and you're like,
yeah,
yeah, this is yeah, I could
this is
see
cool.
yeah, because Edge is you were gonna say how old the kids are.
Edge is 11 to 14 and Vibe is 14 to 17.
Mhm.
Your kids can check themselves in and out here, so you don't have to take them down there. Um, when Dream went to dry dock last fall, Edge and Vibe were renovated and they're super, super cool now. We're speculating that on Fantasy, Edge and Vibe are also going to be renovated in the fall dry dock for 2025. So,
Because those are easy
yeah,
things to update.
to take care of. Hmm.
Yeah, so if you're wondering what else to do as a family, we always talk about the Broadway style shows. So here, there's going to be Aladdin, Frozen, and Disney Believe. I did watch Aladdin and Frozen. I did not watch Disney Believe because I believe the Believe is on other ships. So I believe I've seen it before.
I believe is on the Dream, and we did watch it in January.
It's
And
cute.
it's cute. Um, it's original, and when it first started, we were like, "This is weird." Or the adults, the parents were like, "This is weird."
Yeah.
But as it progressed, it got really good, and it's just an ensemble cast of Disney. Different Disney characters will come out and sing their iconic songs. And it's cute. A lot of Genie, which is
Yeah.
funny that Aladdin and Disney Believe because Genie plays a big part in both of those.
Yeah.
So if you like Genie, fantasy.
This is you. Um, Yeah, so and the other night that we were on the ship, they played Lion King because they didn't have another Broadway show. But I think we didn't see Believe because I had seen it, but also that was the playoffs and I think the Texans were playing and my husband is a Texans fan, so we and me were watching the game. I don't like sports, but he got me some chicken nuggets and fries, so I was fine with it.
You were happy. You're like, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
good
vibe.
here.
I'll vibe in the hotel room for like 10 minutes. It's fine. But those are the shows. They're good. Disney does a great job. They do a great job. The singers were great. I enjoyed it. There's also the pool deck, as we all know. So there's the Mickey
Mhm.
pool, the Donald pool, the Quiet Cove, which, as we've established, is for adults, the Aqua Duck, which is the water slide, And then Nemo's Reef splash area for the littles. And, it's not, these pool decks aren't huge, but I feel
No.
like they're perfectly sized for the size of the ship.
Mhm. One of the things I like about the Disney, like the Magic and the Vision, I haven't been on the Wish either, so I don't know about the newer, bigger ships, but like the Magic and the Dream and Fantasy, these size ships, is with our kids. Y'all know my kids are 8 and 10. Um, my husband and I felt perfectly comfortable going to the upper deck. So, like, you've got the pool deck, and then you've got the upper deck that has chairs, and laying out up there while they were on the pool deck. Um, I did not feel that way when we did Harmony of the Sea with Royal Caribbean because it was just
So
such a
big.
massive ship and so many people that I felt like I needed to be right there by that pool. On the Disney ships, no, like I could give them a little bit of independence. Like they knew where we were sitting, they could come back and forth, and it was lovely.
Yeah, and we've mentioned it before, but the Disney ships are smaller than a lot of these mega
Mhm.
ships. So even, just if your kids are a little older, even going back to the stateroom, your stateroom could only be like
Mhm.
maybe 3 decks away, which isn't
Yeah.
that far. It's really easy to navigate. There's also a lot of spaces that we didn't talk about that we've talked about before, and I know like for us it feels like a broken record, but if this is the first episode you're seeing
Yeah.
about Disney Cruise Line, you might not know. They play Disney movies, so Disney's current releases. Like I mentioned, I said Lion King. I didn't mean Lion King. They showed
Mufasa.
Mufasa. So Mufasa was in the movie theaters. That's what we were watching.
In
Any
case y'all
newer,
didn't know, Rachel and I was on the Dream the same week she was on the Fantasy. We were just like rolling around
yeah, yeah, we were sailing around each other. It was pretty funny.
because we also watched Mufasa.
Yeah, so there's a movie theater, like a regular movie theater. They'll also show movies in the Broadway theater. There's a
Mhm.
family space where they do all kinds of different trivia and games and interactivity. They're in the adult space. They do silent disco, dance parties, match game, bingo, all kinds of stuff there. There are no casinos on Disney cruise ships, which I love.
I do too.
Okay, but they're smaller ships. There's character meet and greets everywhere, all
There's
the
something
time.
happening like every minute. Every single minute you could be doing something if you
Mhm.
wanted something to do.
Exactly. And that's, a lot of the stuff like we can't articulate exactly what will be on your ship because it does depend on the cruise director and the activities they're planning. So on my 5 night on the Fantasy in January, we could have had an 80s night, a 90s night,
Mm.
a Disney, but then the person 2 sailings after me could have different things. So this is just like an idea of what you can experience. I'm never going to tell you exactly because it's ultimately the cruise director of fun who gets to decide what you're doing. But we don't we only have a couple minutes left. Um,
Oh, yeah. We're on a time crunch.
some of the itineraries currently is the Mediterranean with Greek Isles.
So
Yes.
nice.
The Norwegian fjords.
You could be Elsa. You could be Elsa.
Stunning,
Yeah.
stunning. The Bahamas, of course, which we've talked about, and there's also a themed Pixar Day at Sea. So right now, the fantasy is the one that we had talked about with the dream, how it goes different places. But
Mhm.
we're excited to see what's going to happen in late 2026, early 2027. We think there's going to be a shakeup.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for itineraries to come. We don't have those details yet, but hopefully we will. That being
Within the
said,
next 2 weeks is what we're hoping.
what we're hoping. That
Yeah.
being said, we are booking through, I think, September of 2026.
Correct. September
And
of 2026.
we were discussing offline, we do recommend you book at least a year in advance for cruises.
Mhm.
This goes for any cruise line, not just Disney, but for the best availability, the best pricing, the best itineraries, a year.
We haven't mentioned like the biggest Disney cruise breaking news as that deposits were just reduced from
Yeah.
20% to 10%.
Yeah.
The 10% deposit was a promo they've done the last couple years, and it was my favorite promo of the year. I booked more Disney cruises during this 2 month period. Disney, they knew, they saw like, hey, and they have dropped the required deposit down to 20%, which I meant down to 10%, which is fantastic because that is the
Yeah.
biggest barrier to booking a Disney cruise I found with my clients is booking in advance. A lot of times y'all don't know when you're going to want to go. And the 20% deposit was a big expense at the beginning of the trip
Yeah,
or the
so it's
beginning
now
of the planning. Yeah,
it's now more in line, I feel like, with industry standards,
great.
which is nice. So yeah, big update, 10%. Thank you.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about that.
yeah.
So if you're interested in a fantasy sailing, like if you want to sail in the fantasy, you don't care where it goes out of, let us know and we can work with you and figure out what's going to work best for you. But we are booking summer of next year. So if it's summer right now and you're like, dang, I wish I had thought about getting a cruise on the books, well, guess what? We can do that for next year with a 10% deposit, and you have a whole ish year to pay for it.
Hmm.
Anything
Yep.
else you want to mention about the fantasy or Disney Cruise Line before we sign
No,
off?
I think we have summed it up pretty well. And if y'all go back and watch all the other videos, you'll get a great overview of all of the ships, except for the adventure.
Yeah, and you'll see there's some similarities there, and
Hmm.
I feel like in each episode we kind of focus on different things, and the fantasy being the last one in our series kind of got the short end
It,
of the
it
stick.
it feels a little repetitive, and we apologize for that, you know.
But that just kind of goes to show you that you can confidently be on any of these ships. You sail on one and you can kind of get acclimated really quickly to the other
Mhm.
ones, which is really nice. Now, the Wish and those are completely different, but these four, there you get on and you're like good to go. And I just want to repeat, it's the best night's sleep I've ever had.
Yeah,
You agree,
exactly.
right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm actually you know, I said we're going to an all-inclusive next week. We are going to Dreams, Macau Beach, Punta Cana. It's the first time my kids have been to an all-inclusive because of COVID. You know, it just kind of messed up our timeline for when we do certain trips. So my kids love a cruise, y'all. They love a cruise so much. And I'm really intrigued to see whether they like the all-inclusive or the cruise better.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna report back on that because
Yeah.
I don't know which way they're gonna go. Because
Yeah.
when I tell you these kids love a cruise, love a cruise.
Well, don't worry, friends. We'll definitely do a comparison for you because I feel like
Yeah.
that's a good, like, do I do a cruise or do I do an all-inclusive? They're
Well, and my
similar
price
ideas.
point on these was very similar. From our 5 night on the Dream, and this is 5 nights in, you know, club level. So yeah, like we price point's almost identical.
Yeah.
So good comparison.
So when you're ready to chat about Disney Cruise Line or an all-inclusive or your next vacation, hit Katie and I up. All of our info is in the show notes, and we can't wait to work with you. Until next time, bye.
Bye.